Half of those who chase the liveaboard dream leave within 2 years, not because of storms or disasters, but because of quiet exhaustion. What happens when sunsets and freedom give way to endless checklists and creeping costs? The reality is not dramatic, but it is relentless. To understand why most liveaboard dreams fail quietly, we have to start where hope and routine collide. Every year, thousands of people step onto their new boats with hearts full of hope. The promise is simple: freedom, simplicity, a life unburdened by schedules and noise. For many, the first weeks feel like a postcard, with sunset dinners in the cockpit, laughter across still water, and mornings that begin with coffee and end with a swim. In those early days, the world shrinks to a gentle rhythm. Anchor up, sails out, horizon wide. It feels like possibility itself. A former couple remembers their first season afloat. They talk about the glow of lanterns on the deck, the sound of rain on the cabin roof, and the way even chores felt like part of the adventure. For a while, every inconvenience was a story to tell. The dream in those moments is vivid and real. This surge of new liveaboards is not a myth. Interest in living aboard has grown with every economic shakeup, from the years after 2008 to the remote work boom in the early years of the 2020s. Brokerage sales and online forums fill with new faces, each chasing the same vision. But beneath the surface, a quieter pattern repeats. Many of these dreams do not end in disaster or regret. They simply fade. Roughly half of new liveaboards are gone within 2 years, not because the ocean is cruel, but because the daily reality asks more than the dream ever promised. The ocean rarely ends the dream. The routine does. A kettle whistles in a cramped galley as condensation drips down the window. The day begins not with a plan, but a checklist. Battery monitor first, then water tank, then the slow twist of a manual pump. A liveaboard sits at the small table, thumb running down a weather app, eyes tracing wind arrows and tide charts. The sun is barely up, and already there are decisions to make. Solar panels need adjusting, the anchor chain must be checked for snags, and a mental tally is kept of how much power was left after last night's anchor light. Coffee cools while a phone buzzes with a marina alert. Pump-out hours have changed, again. There is a quiet calculation. How long before the next run to shore? How many gallons are left in the tank? The deck is slick, shoes left at the top of the companionway to keep salt out of the cabin. Each movement is intentional, learned from habit and necessity. A neighbor's dinghy engine coughs to life, echoing across the anchorage. On board, a notepad fills with reminders. Charge devices, rotate food stores, top up diesel from jerry cans stowed under the berth. None of this is dramatic. The boat sits still, but the mind is always running. Every small task is a thread in a larger web, one that never quite loosens. The dream is still there, somewhere between the lines of the logbook, but it is hidden beneath the steady weight of ordinary days. A battery monitor glows in the half-light, its numbers lower than yesterday. Over time, even the best batteries fade. By the end of the second year, most liveaboards see their capacity drop by a quarter. Each morning begins with calculations. How much power remains? How much can be spared for coffee, for lights, or for a weather download? Solar panels catch what they can, but a string of cloudy days means rationing, or running the engine for hours just to keep the fridge cold. The hum of an inverter becomes as familiar as the sound of rain on the deck. Water is a different kind of math. Tanks empty faster than expected. Filling them means jerry cans lugged from shore, or running a water maker that draws hard on batteries already stretched thin. Every drop is measured, every shower is short. Waste builds up too, and pump-out schedules rarely match the rhythm of life on board. A missed window means another day of careful management, another note on the checklist. Below the floorboards, the bilge demands attention. Hoses loosen, pumps clog, salt creeps in. Once a month, sometimes more, The system needs cleaning or a quick fix. The smell of diesel lingers after topping up from cans stowed under the berth. Each refill is a reminder of the next haul out, when the boat must come out of the water for work that never seems to end. Haul outs run $6,000 to $10,000, sometimes more if a hidden problem surfaces. The cycle repeats: check, patch, hope it holds. A marina technician shrugs and says, "It is always something." Anchoring adds another layer. Even at rest, the boat is never truly still. Wind shifts, tides turn, and the anchor must be checked, sometimes reset in the dark. Sleep comes in shifts, light and interrupted. The work is not dramatic, but it is relentless. Every system asks for attention, and nothing ever feels fully done. Evenings grow quieter as the months pass. Friends who once called every week now check in less often. Video chats are missed. Holidays slip by with only a text. By the second year, most liveaboards report their old networks have faded. Contact drops below once a month for many, and invitations to shore gatherings are fewer. The former couple flips through a notebook, tracing the arc of their social world shrinking. There is a line for each missed birthday, each unanswered message. The anchorage feels wider, the silence more complete. A different kind of record grows alongside it. Ledger pages fill with receipts and numbers, insurance premiums, storage fees, another haul out, another marina slip. The totals edge higher than planned. Owner logs and surveys show that budgets are routinely overrun by 20 to 50%, not from a single surprise, but from dozens of small necessary expenses. A new hose clamp, a diver to clean the hull, a replacement SIM card for data. The couple's cash flow projections, once optimistic, now carry corrections in the margins. Annual costs for a 35 to 45-foot boat often land between $18,000 and $35,000, even before major repairs. There is no single moment of crisis, only a steady accumulation. The emotional account runs parallel to the financial one. Each transaction, each quiet evening, chips away at the original vision. Motivation does not collapse. It thins, stretched across too many lines, on too many ledgers. The dream persists, but it feels lighter, less urgent. In the background, the decision to keep going or to stop is already taking shape. Patterns begin to surface in the logbooks and in marina records. Boats that once moved every week now linger at the same dock for months. A liveaboard flips through a log. Stretches between sails have grown, and entries fill with notes about postponed repairs and new marina bookings. Yard managers quietly notice the same hulls returning more often, with owners asking for longer stays and easier access to shore. The shift is subtle, a preference for comfort, a reluctance to untie lines, another repair put off until next season. Invoices pile up for small jobs, and the list of planned passages grows shorter. The dream does not shatter. It softens, as days afloat are traded for the steady hum of shore power and the security of a slip. Over time, the act of going becomes the exception, not the rule. Some dreams find a new shape instead of ending. A growing number of former full-time liveaboards now spend only part of the year afloat, 6 months tracing familiar coastlines and 6 months ashore. These seasonal sailors keep the best parts of the life, and surveys show 80% stick with it after 5 years, far more than those who try to go all in. Others turn to co-ownership or mooring cooperatives, where costs and responsibilities are shared. In these arrangements, maintenance and haul-outs are divided, cutting individual expenses by as much as half. The couple who once lived aboard full-time now split their boat with friends, each taking a turn at the helm. The dream is smaller, but it lasts, anchored not in fantasy, but in what can be sustained. Today, thousands quietly step off their boats, not defeated, but changed by the steady demands of a floating life. The dream asks more than most expect, and adaptation becomes survival. In the end, what endures isn't the fantasy, but the honest measure of what we can truly sustain.